Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream as we're apparently not good on our settings today. Hey, what happened to my settings? What happened there? Hello? Ba? 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 Oh, everything's just, awful. There. Hey. Hey, we're back. There. Yeah. Hi. My software for the webcam screwed up completely, apparently. Utterly screwing up on this day. So, hi. Today is May 18th, 2023. It is a Thursday. What has gone on since the last time we met? Well, in the world of gaming, I, at this point, have stopped playing Genshin Impact in its entirety because I just am preferring Star Rail. I prefer Star Rail and how they do the things that Genshin Impact does. So a lot of the daily mechanics have gotten really tedious in Genshin Impact, and Star Rail has a lot of quality of life improvements over Genshin Impact, which is quite nice. It's also, I can do progression in Star Rail, and I can't really do any more progression in Genshin Impact. I literally don't need any more characters, or weapons, or even artifacts and stuff. It's not necessary to complete the content of the game, to do the content of the game. And their events suck. Just flat out, the events just suck. They are not good in the slightest. So I'm just not going to play it anymore. Plain and simple, I won't play Genshin anymore. I know that within a couple patches from now, there will be a new region. I do not intend on playing when the new region releases, because it's just gonna be enough content that I would get through it within 2 weeks, despite being a new region. I would be done with it within 2 weeks, and then the same situation applies after that. So, yeah, I'm thinking I probably won't go back to Genshin Impact until the end of the current set of chapters they have planned, as Ollie is now here with a ball. Probably until the end, and then just do everything that they released between now and when they have the end of the current story chapters done. Because I'm preferring Star Rail at the moment. Now, Star Rail they've gone to the next banner, event banner character, and is, I would say, overall not as strong as the first one that they had. I haven't obtained this character, nor do I think that I will obtain this character. In fact, I'm quite counting on not obtaining this character. I need one of the event 4-star characters, though, because they have the best 4-star character rate up on this banner. I cannot pronounce her name for the life of me. She's T. She starts with a T. Tiyun, something like that. I forget exactly. She's Fox Lady, and she's the best of the 4-stars currently because she's a good. She buffs very well, and I have Ollie. Ollie is next to me, and I don't have that character. So sure enough, when I did my wishes on this banner, I get both of the other rate up characters who I already have, and not the one that I need. So that's lovely. I'll probably end up getting the event 5-star character before I get the 4-star that I need. But the odds are in my favor to not win that 50-50 chance. I say that knowing that, yes, each time it rolls, it's independent. It is a 50% chance. However, I have won 3 50/50s in a row thus far. The odds of doing 4 in a row are low. Are to a point where I should expect that we're not going to continue that streak, despite it being a 50% chance. That said, it's happened to me in Genshin Impact before, so there's that. I happen to need standard banner characters, 5-star characters. I would like to have any of the ones except the one that I have. And knowing my luck, I'll end up with the one that I have again, which will make that one ever so slightly stronger at healing, because the one that I have is a healer. It's nice to have, but I'd like to have basically any of the other ones. Basically any of the other ones would be great to have. Would be fantastic. Clara would be fantastic to have. Bronya would be fantastic to have. For example, those two characters would be fantastic to have off of the standard banner, and fantastic to have before I hit the 300 wish pity off the standard banner, which will take like 6 months, 4-ish months really, to get the remaining pulls on that banner. I think at least 4 months to get there without spending gems on it. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm at the point, by the way, in that game, in Star Rail, where I am just doing dailies and weeklies twice per day, pretty much just using my stamina in about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, done, and basically done until either the next morning or the evening. There's supposed to be like some sort of a mini event that's starting like tomorrow. That'll be fine. But for the next 3 weeks, it's going to be a little bit barren, having done all of the content. But at least my characters will advance, and I have a sense of progression happening right now, which I can't say is happening with Genshin Impact. So, all that being said, Ollie, this cat right here, this one, lobbed his ball wet onto my keyboard, over the keys of my keyboard. Just now. This cat, right here, this one. Hi. You are gonna go get that ball. And off he runs to go get that ball. In the land of Factorio, what have we done? Last time we met, I set up metastable quasi-crystals, which was the final ingredient to start producing non-existent amounts, or non-existent amount, to start producing existent amounts of standard bacon. Of our standard bacons. Yes, I know. Go. Off he runs. Go fetch. Go fetch, kitty. We have beacons, and we have beacon 2s. You know, we just have beacons and beacon 2s. And with that extremely major milestone, I was able to begin to discuss the most broken exploit in the entire game. And that is free productivity exploit. The free productivity exploit with speed. What is this exploit? Well, as we said many times last time, the game limits how often it processes recipes to once per tick. Once per tick. Or, shall we say, if the game was running at full speed, that would be once per 1/60th of a second. So 60 frames per second, once per frame. And that is the speed limit that the game has on standard recipes in standard buildings. However, productivity is calculated independently of that speed limit. Productivity is also calculated based on the machine running at its full rate, regardless of the speed limit. So what ends up happening is that the productivity is calculating as if the process is running the standard cycles, even if it isn't, because of the speed limit of once per tick. So you just magically gain a lot of productivity. And in fact, the faster the recipe, the more benefit you gain by having this. And of course, the higher your crafting speed of the building, the better. Up to the maximum of your bonus 32,767% that you can get by putting speed modules in beacons around the building. So all the way up to that max versus the base speed of the recipe. Yeah, you wanna keep going? Go get it. Off he runs yet again. So, we took our time last time and did a few examples of this, where we are now getting 891.61 per second if we were to provide all of the stuff at its full rate. But the beauty of this exploit is that you don't actually need to provide this full rate of input, because even if it's not operating with 100% uptime, it's still going to assume that it does those cycles. Even if it's not doing them. It's just the most broken exploit in the entire game. So, with that being said, between streams, I've done a few more things to help improve my production of circuits and to help improve my production, of more beacons. And we're going to continue that today until I run out of beacons. And then we'll move on to working on getting into perfect samples. We'll begin the process of getting into perfect samples because techs have happened since last time. In fact, yesterday, for most of the day, I simply had the game running and it didn't do anything. In fact, I spent the majority of the day yesterday just reading on my Kindle, on my Fire HD 10. I spent most of the day sitting here, cat behind my head, cat next to me, leaning back in my chair, just reading on my Kindle, which, by the way, is my definition of a perfect day. So, yeah, I did not have the mental capacity really yesterday. I didn't feel like I could really do anything else other than that. So that's what I did yesterday. I just took the day, most of the day, sat back and read with the game running. Just let it run. And so because of that, I now have the technology that has unlocked PyScience 4, as well as perfect samples. So we can begin the process now of getting into these things. Now, unfortunately, perfect samples are not a productive recipe. They are in fact not productive, which sucks a bit. I could have sworn I broke down, like, the everything. I guess it was all in this. Yeah, yeah, so this also means that I now have the ability to get all of these organs and things, slash also the ability to do all of these improved creatures. Now, I'll note that we're not currently really producing Ulrich on the train network, having them on the train network. Ulrich? No, excuse me, Corlex. We don't really have the Corlex for this, nor do we really have the, I don't have an excess of Xenos. They all are going into eggs and not really provided on the train, on my logistic network at the mall, which is where I'm making them. I also am not really providing numals at all. I slaughter everything that I make for ink. Zungroar are only being used for their cocoons right now, so I will need to scale things, and I'm not producing adult Dilmo either. It's like I don't have the adult Dilmo either. I also don't have, if it's in here, which I don't think, yeah, there it is. I don't have Fagnots. Period. I just don't have Fagnots at all in the base. I've made the initial ones to set up a Fagnot farming area, but yeah, don't have them. I'm also not producing Fat Eye. The Fat Eye that I have are producing carapaces through the carapace recipes that don't involve slaughtering Fat Eye. I also have no button to click for Patreon sub continuation. Yeah, that's one thing, is that they don't have the doohickey. They don't have integration with that. And I don't know about whether or not we get a notification when it renews. I don't think it does that at all. But anyway, that's recurring support that I'm very thankful for. Thank you so much for being a patron. Now, as I was saying, this process is going to involve launching dogs into space, or wolves into space as well. So, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work ahead of us with all this, because I do need to scale the base creatures a bit for this. I need to be able to provide all of the base creatures to the mall. I need to upgrade said creatures, ideally at the mall. I need to produce, all of those upgrade items here, each of the upgrade items. We have Rika, but I'll need to make, like, anti-tumors and BMPs and orexigenics and recombinant erythropoietin. I need to make all of these things. All of these things need to be made. Anabolic RNA as well. Need all of those. It's gonna be freaking fantastic. Oh yeah, and I need antelope. And I need Schrodinger's antelope as well. So, yeah, that is another thing that we need to get. As for the antelope, I have set up the initial production of the antelope over here between streams, just so that I could start getting them eventually. I guess I'm just waiting on a delivery of cDNA at this point to get my first versions, my first antelopes. I've also begun creating the containers that I'll need for them. Keep in mind with these that the gastricorgs need caged antelopes. The caged antelope is yeah, it's interesting. So you cage them here, but yeah, and you can make them here. You have a 50% chance of getting an antelope from these recipes. And really the only thing that happens with the increased complexity here is you get more speed out of these recipes. That's all that they do, is increase speed. Unfortunately, the increased output going up to higher percentages is only a result of a turd upgrade. So there really isn't too much point. Oh, I guess we do have these. You have to go all the way up here to get 70% chance. And you get to pick your recipe whether or not you want growth factor. I mean, I guess we do growth factor. Hi, Ollie. Welcome back. Hello, big boy. You're twitchy. You're twitchy. You got stuff in your fur. How's that big Ollie? How is the big Ollie? There's only the one enclosure. Really? You can actually use any of these? Interesting. And yes, there's the Schrodinger antelope. There is the Schrodinger anti-lope. There's the Schrodinger neutralope, and there's the Schrodinger positilope. Positive, anti, and neutral. Yeah, there's these are from a upgrade option. There's an upgrade option for those. It's in here. Not you. You. Hello. Welcome. Antelope. Here. You. Hi. So with your upgrade options, you can choose between getting quantum folding, which is interesting in that this is a way of getting quantum dots for free, for essentially free. You do need to like provide, I think, some input of antelope over time. The way that it works is you put an antelope in, you get a 50% chance of getting a quantum dot out of the process, but you get a positilope and an antilope. An antilope. You can then take a standard antelope with the antilope to make a neutral with a 50% chance of a dot. And then you take a positive and a neutral, positive and neutral, so the positive from here, if you get a positive, and if you get an anti. Again, game mechanics does not guarantee that you'll get one of each. Or that it'll cycle at all. It's just the average over time will be 50% from one. There is a chance that you get two. There's a chance that you get nothing. Because each one of these percentages is independent of the others. So you take your neutral and any positives that you get, and you add it to the thing here, and you get an anti and a standard. You get standard and anti. And standard and anti make two neutral. One neutral plus one positive makes, one anti and one standard. Standard with anti, back to two neutral. So, I think think you can see how over time, as you throw neutrals back in over here, you get positive on neutrals. You're positive on neutrals here. And you can actually take your neutrals and make regulars and positives again. Regulars and positives. Right back here. So you get a positive to go there, and you get a regular to go there. And this just, it moves. It moves, it does things, and it makes dots. It makes dots. That's really what it does, and I think it's pretty stable. I think this is mathematically stable. I have to check. I think you don't really need too much, if anything, on the input for this. I just don't think it's going to be worth it ultimately. You can reduce speed, but you can increase the output of strangelets by 50%. That's tempting because it's not really changing anything about the complexity of the system. Or you can make them consume a lot more power to have a higher percentage chance of having an output. Which, I mean, that's effectively a productivity gain, right? Of about 20%. You can gain about 20% more output. So you could either gain 20% more output, or specifically for the contained strangelets, you can increase their output by 50%. Option 1 here is probably the best option, simply because that extra 20% would also apply to the other main output from the antelope, which are those, what are they? What are they again? The other thingy. The other thingy needed for this guy is, where are you? This one, dimensional gastrocorg. So it would apply to the gastrocorg as well as the strangelets. But anyway, that was a tangent to go off of. What else have I done between streams? Well, as you could probably see here, I've added the optical fiber in here. We can have a look at the optical fiber. This one I think is basically a 7.5 to 1 ratio. It's moving as fast as it can. Yeah, so basically for every cycle of this building, for every one cycle, it's as if it's done 7.5. So yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's not the greatest. This is a recipe that is a 3-second craft time, so it's not the greatest. Hey, could you not touch my phone? Thanks. Could you not touch my phone and turn it on and push things? Ali. Yeah. There's that face. He's got his wet paws. Are your paws wet? No? Good. Got his paws on my Kindle. Now he wants his pets. Now he wants attention. Pets and attention. So yeah, that's a pretty good output, I think, for this system. It is making enough now. Over here we've got the circuit 2s that I did previously, and now I have added circuit 1s. It's a little bit better of a ratio than previously, so now we have this every 4 seconds, we get 5. That now the ratio is 8895.08 divided by, is there anything on here that needs 1? The batteries, so divided by 300. You know, that's 29.6. Divided by the 5 that we normally get out here, and this ratio is 5.9, 5.93. So we're getting that much more, that many times more than normal. Yeah. So for every cycle of this, we get times 5.93 more, which is a little bit higher than the actual productivity value, which is 120%. So rather than being plus 120, it's plus 493. And that's the big main difference. That's effectively what it means, is you're getting extra productivity out of it. I've done this already for a few other things. We have done this for neuroprocessors. This was fun, yeah. So neuroprocessors are a 2-second craft time. So yeah, this one is actually more than a 7.5x improvement. Yeah, I've got infinite of these now, as much as I will ever desire on those. I've added this battery here, copper zinc batteries. It is a requirement for the circuit ones. Ollie is over here now. They're required for the circuit ones, so I made them, and yeah, that ratio is not as good, but it is still getting extra productivity out of it. It's not as strong on the 10-second ones, and it's basically net neutral on 15-second ones, at least at Mark III. Mark IV isn't going to make too much of a difference either. I mean, it's still a +1 to a base crafting speed that you can then get the plus 32,000 on. 32,767. You're not quite at 767, are you? Well, I don't think I can fit one more of these. Yeah, I can't really do that. I could put a different 5. I could put a 4 or 5. I don't think there's a diet beacons 4 or 5 in here. Yeah, so when it comes to these beacon 2s, if you can put a diet beacon in its place, the diet beacons can provide more than plus 480 or equal to 480. They'll use more power to do so, but it'll be worth it if it's at least greater than 480 to have the space efficiency. And of course, you can fit these into spots that you can't fit the bigger beacons in. So combinations are fine. They work very well. But basically, anything that's less than 15, or ideally less than 10 seconds, anything that is productive can be cheesed in this way by getting just free productivity by having the building run at the maximum value that the game allows. This also applies to things like seeds. This also applies to this conversion of wood to coal, which normally it's 2 wood per coal. It is normally 2 wood per coal. This building is only at 7,200 crafting speed. That is nowhere even remotely close to what I want it to be. Hello. I can make you better. You shall be better. You shall be even better, because this is one of the strongest cases where we have a oops, those are identical to each other. This is one of the strongest cases where we have a building that actually has a crafting time of less than 1 second. So when we get the full crafting speed on here, we see that, oh hey, we go from 2 to 1. We go from 2 to 1 to 1 to 20. So yeah, pretty much each unit of wood now, each unit of wood makes 20.2 units of coal from this building. So yeah, that's a little strong. That's a little strong. Just gonna throw that out there. It's a little strong. It changes a lot of calculations as to what is the most efficient process to do at any given time. Vastly changes the calculation because it also works on this thing. I just point out it also works here on the actual log to wood conversion. It's already going past the tick rate because guess what? We picked a tech upgrade that made this a faster recipe. So remember way back when, near the beginning, when the turret upgrade system was brought back in beta, and I picked the option that let me do this faster. Yeah, there's a good reason. There's a pretty good reason why we want recipes to move faster when they are productive recipes. There's a pretty good reason here. Now this needs to also be cheesed. So yeah, I'm thinking ultimately I need to delete these now. Those can go. I will also need to remove this and make it so that I'm only doing this in one location that's been beaconed to hell and back. However, that still means that I will need to actually request coal. Only 2,400 fit in a building. So I can load it into here. Now, this recipe would also be able to be shenaniganed. We can also gain productivity out of this. And we're already, like, with our normal productivity, it's already providing more coke out than coal in. Yeah. Productivity is great. Have I said this already? Do I think you might understand why I enjoy productivity so much. And if I move this out of the way, I can actually beacon this with level 5s, full-size beacons, on this building and get this to be shenaniganed as well. To get free productivity, to get more free productivity, I'll have all of the coal in the world. It'll be glorious. It'll be glorious and magnificent stuffs. Whoops. Yes, wonderful. Wonderful, beautiful stuff. So you. I'm moving you. I'm moving you down here. I'm gonna set that up. And then I have to find everywhere else that I'm doing that, because I'm also doing it, like, up here. Get rid of that. Don't know where else, but somewhere over the rainbow. This can be shenaniganed, I think. Maybe. That recipe's actually pretty slow. I don't think it can. Yeah, I don't think it can. Yeah, that's a pretty good rate right there. So we have a 5, we have a 4, we have the 3. We need the 2 and the 1. The 4s will suck because I have to move it like over here. That does it. Oh yeah, there we go. We're at the full rate now, and yeah. So rather than being 4 into 21, which is normally a 1 to 5.25, rather than being 1 into 5.25, we now have we now have 1 into 108.78. So 1 log becomes 108.78 wood. Good luck actually getting all of that output from the building. And yes, this would also mean that, hey, wood has a fuel value. So, yeah. Since wood has a fuel value, you might want to consider using wood for fuel for things. Since, you know, you're sort of able to convert this 4 megajoule thing into, 108.78 things of 2 megajoules. Yeah. So that's going to be pretty amazing and wonderful. Magnificent stuffs. This guy's just supplying logs at the moment. Yeah. All that is wonderful. Magnificent stuffs. And I could do this literally all day. But there is one thing I wanted to do. Not here. Because in reality, I'm not actually limited by my purple science anymore. My labs are not limited by my purple science anymore. Yes, this is absolutely glorious. So right now I'm actually limited by automation science. So we're going to go and we're going to do this to automation science. I could do this. I could do this where I'm making automation science, or we could do this here and have all of the shenanigans with automation science here, which would make use of all of, yeah, this is probably going to be better here because it would actually make use of like the wood stuff here, since automation science, if I can remember where I'm making automation science. Automation science needs, let's see, it needs these planter boxes which need wood. So we have these planter boxes, we have these boxes that eat ash and soil, and then we have native flora. So the biggest concern would be providing an adequate amount of native flora. Hmm. Humma. Humma, humma, humma. That's going to be a very, very limiting factor by doing this in the mall. So I think I don't have any other choice. I have to do this out at a station. Yeah, there's just no way that I will be able to maintain throughput of native flora to actually get that much throughput benefit here for the automation science. So we're going to do this. We're going to go down to automation science and yeah, we're going to beacon the hell out of it. We're going to do this thing. These are more difficult with soil extractors. I've actually looked at this because there's going to be another thing that we're going to do today, which is I'm going to take a tech upgrade. I am going to take a tech upgrade that is now available. I'm going to take a Guar upgrade, and I'm going to take this top one. Guar Pulse. This is going to give me zinc nanocomplex for producing guar. And it will make that zinc nanocomplex a lot more cheaply than making it otherwise. So, because of that, I will need to make fungicide. Now, I have already prepared a factory that will make fungicide over here. This factory is built to produce fungicide. I could actually beacon shenanigan this step right here to use less guts to produce chlorine. I don't really see too much of a point to that, but it's an option. This will make 30 fungicide when I take this tech. The aluminium chloride is here. I just wanted to make sure that before I set this up, I actually had a delivery of the aluminium because that's a little bit limiting right now on the train network. I will need to make more aluminium plates on the train network. But then fungicide has to be brought in here, and I still need to work on adding the input of the fungicide to these lines, and I'm going to need to double these lines and upgrade all of the belts. But what I have done over here ahead of time is I have set up the back end of all of the other ingredients besides the fungicide to provide enough for the stuff up here. And yeah, shenanigans. What I've noted, what I want to note here is that soil extractor Mark III, we are hard limited to how much output we can actually get out of soil extractors. We are limited to 12,000 water per second. We are limited to 12,000 water per second, the speed of a pump. If we had faster pumps, which there are mods that you can get that can give you better pumps. Yes, there are these things. If you have a mod to get faster pumps, then yeah, you can have the one building go even faster. But you're still also going to need more infrastructure from more water. You still need to provide that much water overall. There is an argument for using productivity modules on the soil extractors. There is a very good argument for doing that since you can beacon as much speed as you need on them. And that way you get the most output for the capped 12,000 water in. So we'll probably do that here. since we need some soil here at our upgrading of the automation science packs. Okay, this recipe cycles every 5 seconds. This recipe cycles every 2 seconds. This recipe cycles every 1 second. And of course, as we saw before, this recipe cycles every 1 second. Oh boy. This whole thing needs to be deleted, frankly, but I'm just... Yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Goodbye, everything. You are being rebuilt from scratch. And this is, you know, the mission going forward. Ideally not really focusing on this part first. What I should be focusing on are the ingredients for making additional beacons so that I can have a consistent supply, a faster supply of beacons to the point where I will always have enough to do all of the other scaling that I need. Same with the speed modules. You see here I have like 600 speed modules now, and I have a full 1,000 pure productivity modules. This is the benefits of having scaled up our output of the circuit 3s last time, since I am making a lot more circuit 3s than I was, even by virtue of it really just being an increase to the amount of free circuit 3s that we're getting. And I did, by the way, also do the thing with a few of the parts. Where did you go? Where did it go? Oh yeah, here. Hi. This is MOSFETs. Say hello to MOSFETs. These are being shenaniganed. I now have enough MOSFETs for everything. It's absolutely glorious. I think the limiting factor now is actually like microchips. I think it's the microchips, maybe? No, not at the moment. What is limiting here? It is... Oh, it's solder. Right. It's just solder. That is one ingredient that is not going to be able to be shenaniganed. I'm pretty sure, because all of the recipes for solder, none of it's productive. I'm pretty darn certain. Oh. What's your speed? 6 seconds. I don't think Helmod adequately shows me what, like, the exploit. I don't know if Helmod actually tells me the proper values with the exploit. Actual craft time does. Actual craft time tells me, but I don't think that Helmod does. I will need to actually place a building and beacon it. So I'm just gonna get all this stuff picked up, and then we'll have a look at the solder there through the basic recipe, eating plates, because if that is a good enough ratio, I'll probably just do that in the mall for solder. As I said, this exploit absolutely fundamentally changes a lot of calculations for what is the most efficient recipe. Because there are situations like this right here with the solder, where there are baseline recipes that are normally really bad but are productive, and then different recipes that have higher output than the baseline recipe. That are not productive. Where ultimately, because of this exploit, the baseline recipe ends up being a lot better. This is the 4s, the AM4 line. I'm gonna just copy paste the 3 line and the 2 line. Actually, I don't really have a 2 line. Because we didn't need the full 2 line. So this is just an experiment to see. Really? I still need the 2-2. Yeah, there we go. This is an experiment just to see like numbers here. So I'm pretty sure that that wins. I'm pretty sure that that wins pretty much hands down. Because I guarantee that none of the other solder recipes give you a better than 1-to-1 ratio of plates to solder output. I don't think there's anything in here that is a better than 1-to-1 on any of the molten recipes. If you were to like consider the total number of plates. So solder 3 is the quote-unquote top best of the outputs. Oh. I guess it considers it better even with normal productivity. Thanks, Helmod. Really? Alright. Interesting decision, Helmod. I guess it really values silver, doesn't it? Yeah, it must really be valuing that molten silver. If we did just a comparison without the extra silver and tar, it's probably still going to be really, 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 really high values by comparison. So yeah, I'm going to say that this ultimately is a winner. I'm going to put this as a blueprint for when I get back to the mall and delete the everything. I shouldn't have deleted the everything. I should have removed the factory or replaced the factory's recipe with a different recipe, such as that for the science. Yeah, that thing. High. 1. So this craft time is 5 seconds. We don't get the best possible bonus from this. We still get a pretty good bonus though. We still get a pretty good bonus though. Yeah. Normally the native flora, the ratio of native flora to automation science packs, it's supposed to be 10-to-1. It's supposed to be 10 to 1. Now it's closer to 2 to 1. It's for all intents and purposes, we can say that that's pretty much just a 2 to 1. So, you know, it's a 5x. It's a 5x. About a 5x improvement. Yeah. About 5 times the output than what it would otherwise be. So rather than plus 120, it's like plus, I don't know, like, let's say 480, somewhere around there, on the bonus. Not plus 480, plus 380, excuse me. So yeah, it's like more than double, more than, actually, quote-unquote, tripling. It's like tripling our current productivity bonus. Through the power of shenanigans! Now, the only real issue is being able to actually provide all the, you know, stuff into the building. Granted, I've left myself a lot of room to put stuff into the building. So, this is compressed. I'm going to build it so it could potentially consume the actual amount that it needs, but I'm going to expect that my buffers are going to be full for a very long time. Ba ba ba. Ba 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 ba. There's the native flora. Small parts. Yeah, just one of those. And the input from wherever else. Off you go. Okay then. Next. Here. If I go here, what are we missing? We're missing the 5-5. And that's it. And that's it. Just the 5-5. Alright. You are going to be the next ingredient, which is a planter box. If I can find this box. It's this box. I'm pretty sure this is my box. Yeah, so that's the ratio. We need not even close to that much, but you know. You know. Unfortunately, because I don't think Helmod is able to adequately tell me the benefits of the productivity exploit here, I could force it to, I think. How would I go about doing this? How would I go about doing this? I think it's the with compute by factory. If I put down it doesn't really matter the type of beacon I use. So if I set beacon 3 with pure speed modules and be like, hey, I have like a bajillion of them, is it going to tell me the actual amount? So this says 132.1. This is not reflecting the productivity exploit. This is not telling me the correct value. So that would be a bug in Hellmod. I would consider this to be a bug with Hellmod because it's not reflecting a bug in the base game. What the actual value would be. It's not properly calculating the adjusted productivity to the amount that we're over on the speed. Yeah, it's limiting to 1 cycle per tick. Yeah, limit speed because 1 cycle per tick, limit speed because value percent more than 32,767. It needs to be calculating the productivity based off of the real speed, regardless of the 1 cycle per tick limitation. And it should be adding those 2 separate values. It needs to calculate it as 2 separate values, and it needs to add the productivity, like calculate the productivity independently with what the real speed would be, because that's how the game is doing it. It's not actually calculating this how the game is calculating this. They're 2 independent calculations, so they need to be done independently, and the productivity one does not have, does not consider the speed limit limitation, because it's the productivity tick itself that is speed limited, and not the it's not basing it off of the base speed limit. So what I'm saying is that you can only have 1 productivity tick per tick. You can have 1 tick of the recipe per tick. So yeah, that's what the actual limits are. The issue is getting the productivity to tick at the tick rate. Good luck getting productivity to tick at the tick rate. It's usually not going to do that. Would it? Would it be? Would it be? I guess if your base productivity is more than 120%, then it could tick faster than the tick rate. So it's possible that none of these values are accurate at all if productivity is also limited by the tick rate. Gosh, we'll have to do some actual calculating at some point, I think, because I think this could be wrong as well. Unless the productivity ticks adjust dynamically. But why would it do that? Huh. Weirdness that I don't really feel like trying to solve. This is importing ash, isn't it? Yeah. So that's going to change. That's going to change. We're not going to import ash here. Instead, we are going to import kickalk. We are going to import kickalk so we can import the stuffs. The stuffs end the things. Okay, I need to be right up against the doohickey here. Let there be wood processing unit. Wonderful. So that guy there. Oh, right. Duh. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is making Kikalk raw fiber. As you can see here, this is a 10-second recipe, so the gains are at a minimum with this one. But there are still gains. We are 3, 2, 7, 6, 7. There are gains out of this. It's just not as extreme. Yeah, there's still gains here. What is this calculation? 891.61 over 60. So now instead of being a 1 to 5, it is a 1 to 14.86. So effectively a 1 to 3. So instead of 1 to 5, it's 1 to 3. Now under normal circumstances, without the speed shenanigans, it would be a excuse me. So rather than 1 to 5, it would normally be 1 to 12. 1 to 12, I think. 13. So yeah, the gains are tiny. The gains are super tiny at 10 seconds over the baseline productivity. At 11. So instead of being 1 to 11, it's now 1 to 14.86. So very, very small gains, but still gains. All right. The next step is where things get spicy. I hope. I hope it's about to get spicy. Give me a high pressure furnace. I think this is in a high pressure furnace. Ash. This process is 2 seconds. Yes, hello. Hello, beautiful, wonderful thing. You take up to 300 units. So, this is not at full speed. I need this again. There we go, you are full speed. And now, yeah. With this being a 2-second recipe, we do get a lot of gains out of it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. He's good. He's good. He's good. We need how much ash for you? 180. Oh. Well, dang. Is this a spot? Yeah, I can make this work. Yeah. Yeah, see? Ahem. Ta-da. Glorious. Beautiful stuff. Okay, the empty planter box. Yeah. Empty planter box. Productively. You're gonna need more speed. Need all of these. And these. Oh. I need these two that way. There we go. So now that's those are those numbers. At 4, those are those numbers. Yeah, those are numbers. Numbers which exist. This only needs 60. So yeah, we're going to need to unstack some stuff. Oh, what? Really? Fine. Hashtag 1 tile. 1 solo tile. What now? Really? What is it? 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 What is it that you are both touching? It is this guy. This guy. There we go. Ah, stupid. Okay. I need this up. Oh, the iron is not stacked. There we go. And then that just leaves wood. Oh, you have to get the bricks. And then that leaves wood. You here. Wood from logs. Productively. So what are you missing? You are missing 5, 2, and 1. There we go. That's all they're missing. Oof, that barely. That does work. Okay. Nothing's deactivated. They're all activated. Of course, this makes the logistics a little weirder. Yeah. Right, there's still one more thing, and that is the soil. That is the soil. Okay. The soil. For the record, I don't think I need 300. Considering we only need 120 planter boxes. I need 300 if I need 651. So I need 55.21 soil. 55.21 soil, huh? Well, I think that basically no matter where I put this, I could do this. And yeah, bear in mind that we are limited by the 12,000 water that we can fit into the thing. So productivity is actually useful for this rather than speed. Right, who are you missing? 5-5? Yes. The rather important 5-5. You're missing one more. Are you missing 5-1? No, you have 5-1, you have 5-2, you have 5-3, 4, and 5. Are you missing 4-1? 5-4. Yeah, 4-1, 4-2. You're missing 4-3. Okay. There we go. There we go. So we have some, a little bit of beacon shenanigans along with just extra productivity gains out of this to get all of the soil that we need. Now, next thing is that we need to put down the tank. The specific tank is here. And then 12,000, well, 12,000 of course divided by 1,200 is 10, so we need 10 water wells. We don't need 10, but and because I know that I don't need 10, I'm just gonna do a few. Why bother doing all the effort for that when I don't need it? Just as long as we get at least 60 on the output, we're good. And yeah, so that's those. It actually makes a little bit more than a purple belt, so I actually need to run 2 on the output here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I guess we can see the proof that it's operating at actually 296.64 here, right? Like I'm pretty sure you can tell that this is more than 270, which I think proves the point. So yeah. That's a thing. That is most definitely a thing. I don't have the small part production for this. Nor do I have the... Yeah, nor do I have the native flora production for this, so it's about to run out of native flora to get it at the full rate at all times. But it's sure gonna be enough, I think, for the trains and for my science for a while. In fact, that much automation science is enough through the end of the game. Like that meets or exceeds my goal, right? So the goal is ultimately to make these numbers here of science per second. these are the numbers that are our goal numbers for science production at the end of the game per second. That's my like final base goal. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that close to 300 is more than 200. So we are officially making enough automation science to complete the game. We have met the goal on the automation science. Yay! Shenanigans have happened. Absolute shenanigans have happened with that automation science. And it's absolutely glorious. We now only have 17 beacons left. So, yeah, might need to not... Oh, that doesn't even have power. Now you have power. Good. So that took a few beacons. That took 40 beacons. 40 beacons to do that, and 80 modules of speed modules, plus the productivity stuff. Shenanigans all around. Glorious, beautiful shenanigans. There are not many sciences that we could do that for. Oddly enough, purple science is one of them that we could do it for. But for most others, we cannot because of, yeah. I may have thought about that. So we can do it. We cannot do it with the Pi 1. 15 seconds, really, there is no gain at 15-second craft time. We need it to be within 10, and 10 is that borderline. 10 is borderline. 15, I think, becomes borderline at Mark 4, but at Mark 3, 10 is really the borderline. And the gains are minimal. Almost not even worth doing. Now, 90-second craft time, no, can't. Can't, not with 90. 10, yes. We can get a minimal amount of gain off of mill science. We can get no gain on Pi 2. We can get no gain on chemical science. We can get no gain on Pi 3. We can get some gain, a minimal gain, on production science because it's 10 seconds. And we can get no real gains off of Pi 4. We can get a bit of gain off of control units, though, which is an ingredient for production science. We can get a bit of a gain on superconducting wires, a tiny gain on that. But other than that, there's not too awfully much that is 10 seconds or lower. These gastrocapacitors are of the stuff that is productive, I should note, because not all these things are productive. In fact, most of these are not. Supercapacitors would get a small gain, and that's it. And that is all that she wrote. Yeah, I've got lots of bots coming after me now. That is my alarm to indicate that I am in fact halfway through today's stream. That I am in fact halfway through today's stream. Let me deposit the junk. Just gonna clean up some of my inventory here. Get rid of... Oh, you're full. Let's see, get rid of you. That, science. Those. There shall be no ash around here. And that about does it for inventory cleanup. Alright, it is time to take a break. I will be back in a few minutes where we will move on to the zinc nanocomplex guar recipes, which we're going to be doing this here. I'm gonna set this up, and we're gonna get up to 15 per second of the nanocomplex provided onto the train network and then imported to the mall, because this stuff, being able to save on nanocomplex means saving a lot, like near enough an order of magnitude of zinc plates. So it'll be great. It'll be fantastic, and it is one of my limiting factors at the moment. So I will be back in just a few minutes. And I have returned. Welcome back. There's no kitty right now, so I guess I should get rid of that camera for the moment. All right. So, we are halfway through the stream. I have confirmed we are in fact halfway through the stream right now. We do not have our extra hour at the moment. Just so folks are aware. And yeah. So, what are we doing for the rest of the stream? We are going to be going over and getting Zinc Nano Complex through a tech upgrade. There is work I will need to do over at the Guar, but the first place that I'll be going is over here to set the recipes for fungicide once I have picked up this selection right here. We have selected our upgrade for the Guar. Now, by doing this, I have turned down a set of recipes that switch from water to saline that are faster recipes in the saline recipe. So you gain speed. You also remove pesticides from the pesticide recipes. So do keep in mind that if you were to pick this option, you would make the top end recipes cheaper as well as speed them up, which is a pretty good option. The other option down here, Hyper Harvest, gives you productivity. However, it sort of makes your plantations cost robots. You sort of have to spend logistics robots to make your plantations if you pick this option for a 5% productivity increase. No. Not gonna happen under any circumstances ever. Not gonna happen. But for me, option 1 will win in every circumstance ever. Simply because it gives me an item as a byproduct that is very useful even as a primary product. So over here we need to make this stuff, and then we need to set this to make this stuff. We could have unlocked this recipe through a Tufra upgrade, but I've done something else with Tufra. Oh, I've made a mistake. Ay, this needs to go. Oh, Ollie's at my legs. Ollie's at my legs. Mr. Cat. Mr. Cat's at my legs. What are you doing? Oh, you're just slow? Okay, that's fine. That's fine then. You're just slow. How much do I need for this? 9? 0.63. 0.6. Alright. It's fine. It's fine. It makes enough. It makes enough. I don't need to think about anything else. It'll make my 30 per second. Will be good. It makes 50 per cycle. Hello, Ollie. Hey, big boy. He has arrived, and he's doing the thing again. He's doing the thing again. Hi, Ollie. Yeah. I sort of need my hand, but hey, fine. Maybe we can pet the kitty. We can pet the cat. Who's here? Hi. Yes, he wants his attention. He wants his attention. Yes, he's a big boy. Camera does not like his dark fur. Keeps on adjusting for the brightness. Alright. We have done the thing. Fungicide can now be provided. I'm gonna limit this to a single line of stuffs. And this should fill up momentarily. Yes, your nodules. Your nodules. You're a Mr. Nodules. Yes, your nodules. You want my hand? Putting his face in my hand. Yes, you're putting your face in my hand. On the keyboard. But I sort of need my hand. I need this hand. Thanks. Thank you, Ollie. Okay, fungicide is on its way. What we need to do here, since none of these buildings are moving anymore, is that I need to overflow void the guar. I will also need to overflow void the zinc nanocomplex. That's going to be output from this. And I need to add a supply station for the zinc nanocomplex here. Okay. You. That. That. Since it's only 15 anyway. That. Supply. Depot. Full cargo. Circuit ignition. Go. Define. Nanocomplex. 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 Save. That's done. Now we need to adjust the logistics here. Oh boy. So, the best way of adjusting the logistics here is that this line needs to be a shared line. Question is, where will I run the sideline? I think here? Yeah. I think this is going to be the winner. Now, I'm going to need to upgrade all of these belts to purples, maybe? I don't think I'm carrying around enough belt. In fact, I'm not carrying around enough belt, period, to do any additions. So I need to remove this. And then I need to add double this length. +1. I need to double it +1. And that's why I need so much more belt. Alright. So it's 21 now, meaning that I will absolutely need to upgrade the line with the ash and the line with the soil. AKA this line. And this line. And it needs to be that, I think. Yes, and This will need more than 30. Cool. The guar beans is less than 15, so I don't have to worry about the guar bean line. Same with the fungicide, barely needs anything per second on the fungicide. Also, this needs to have a splitter. Filtering guar to the right. The rest is the nano complex. And then this needs to be repeated 9 times. Yeah, 9 times. Alright, you're moving. Thank goodness. Okay, that will load the stuff. Output left. Output priority to the left. Output, by the way, also needs to have the line upgraded. Thanks. Ollie. I feel that. I felt that ear. The ear was touching me. Yeah, big Ollie. He's sleepies. He's sleepies now. He's a sleepies. So that only leaves one line that's red still. Great. Fantastic, even. Yeah. Sure. It might be faster for me to just delete the whole thing and rebuild it from scratch. I think that this might actually be faster than tediously going and replacing belt. Just grab what I have and paste it 9 times. If I can manage to get a good line drawn. What? I guess I can't manage to get a good line drawn, can I? Well, for now, we'll delete everything up above. And then it's gonna be 10 total lines of 21. So, gee, I hope I have enough modules of Guar. I know I have at least enough for half. Because this is the Mark II Guar. I could upgrade, I think, to the Mark III at this point. Could I? Yeah, the Mark III is available for upgrading, and it is, in fact, completely doable for upgrading. Yeah, this is completely doable. But not gonna bother right now. Probably not gonna bother at all. Like, there's no point for some of these upgrades. There's not too much of a point. Yeah, it does help reduce the total number of entities if you do need that performance, but there are things that are much lower hanging fruit. And you also have to consider that, oh hey, you're going to build this factory. You're going to need to build a factory that produces these modules in order to then use those modules to reduce the size of a different factory that is probably also the same size as the one that you have built. Yep. Yup. Yep. Alright, kitty. Kitty. I'm gonna move that out of the way so we, don't see me talking twice. Ah, papa. Yes, that's the big boy. Yeah, that's the big boy. All right. Yes, you're putting your paw against my arm. You're pushing my arm with your paw. Yes. Big yawn. Yawned. You're yawning at me. Am I so boring to you? Oh boy. Even with nanobots, this does take some time. I could get a bunch of my Mark III Constructobots, but the thing about, like, vanilla bot mechanics here is they have to pick up each and every single individual item off of these belts, and nanobots just grabs everything all at once. So there's a bit of a difference there in the amount of time it takes to remove things, regardless of how fast the bots can end up being. Nanobots are just going to always be better. Alright, we've done that thing. So now what? I need to basically copy this. Go up from here. And then figure out where exactly I'm going to do this, because apparently I can't just do it there with that spacing, since the my filter splitter is in the way. Because of course it is. Because of course it's in the way. And I can't really jump around it either. I have to reroute that way and get rid of those. Now, if I copy this whole thing, now it should just work with that spacing. Yes, it should work with this spacing. Excellent. Oh boy, and this goes up here. Ah, I see. So I will need to switch this line to something like that so I can do this. Alright, that's fine. It's fine if I need to do that. Okay, that means if I have it like that, I should be able to now do something like this with some overlap, and then paste, paste, paste. It's 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. Ta-da! I don't even have to move. The game will move me for me. Oh, now he's grooming. He's licking. He's licking the paw. He's licking that paw. You're cleaning. You're cleaning. Cleaning the tail. It's time for the ollie to clean. Probably shouldn't do this line, but whatever. It's fine. I don't have to move. I can move. I can just walk. Don't mind me while I walk. Right. So I will need to get the, nano-complex line also pasted down. Oh, yeah, that's necessary. I'm also gonna have more than 150, yeah. So this is actually a line that needs to be purple. This is genuinely a line that must be purple. But after... Yeah, it's still more than 150 even after the feedback, so... This entire thing must be upgraded. If I had the regular express belts, it'd be fine with the express belts, but I have these purples. So that's what I'll be using. The purples, by the way, just as a reminder, these purple belts do require level 1 speed modules. These are speed moduled, so each unit of belt is a level 1 speed module. And as time goes on, when I get to the next sets of tech levels, I think it's at utility science, but eventually, when I get access to 2 more levels of belts, there will come a point where a unit of belt will require Mark 3, level 3 modules, speed modules. So, going to be just a little bit expensive per unit of belt, and I will need to pay attention to how much belt I'm using of those specific belts. But they'll also be moving at like over 400 items per second, like 450 items per second, so I won't need as much of it, I would hope. Have I counted correctly? Yes, I have counted correctly. Now to walk some lines. Place some buildings. Get the nano complex and Guar going. Alright, this can be plopped to the actual nano complex output, and that is that. For the main factory part, I will need to add a void line, though. I don't remember. I do not, should not, need to bring in a fuel. Because I actually have a fuel here. I actually have a solid fuel already. I am out of purple belt. Fantastic. I am out of purple belt, so there's literally no point of me continuing to place these buildings when I already have to come down and rock these lines again for the additional purples. I should actually be holding on to more than just like what was it, 1,000? How much purple am I carrying? Oh, I'm carrying 3,000 units of purple. Oh. Yeah, we've already used over 4,000 units of purple. I'll need another 2,000. Okay, maybe I should be carrying like, I don't know, 5,000 units of purples. Or 10,000, I don't know. That's the 10,000 units of purple belt. Straight belt segments. Fine, that'll be like more than a full chest. Full chest is like 4,800. So we're just gonna request the full contents of the chest, and we'll go from there. I could replace a lot of it with undergrounds. I could replace a lot of this with undergrounds, but we would also use a lot of undergrounds because I have not placed those inserters in good spots to reduce the underground count. Anyway, stuff things. How much bacon is waiting for me? One, apparently. One bacon is awaiting me. Oh, right. I keep forgetting. My bacon is upgrading to bacon 2 when it gets made and I'm not here. So I probably have... Yeah, I have 1, soon to be 2 beacons. Beacon 2s waiting for me. That's fine. That's completely okay. I am alright with this. I need both. I will ideally have 1,000 of both eventually. But for the moment, my beacons will only accrue if I'm at my mall when they are made. Otherwise, it will make beacon 2s for me. Until I have, you know, all of the stuff on me and it's just net positive when my production exceeds my placement of these things. Oh yeah, that's a bit of power now. So that's the one thing about doing what I'm doing with the beacon shenanigans, is that it's adding a few beacons that have a bunch of power draw, so I'm gonna need more power soon. I've at this point I have completely finished 1 square of title. I have completely filled in 1 title. So, I will need to prep the next square for more title eventually. It does take some time to accrue the title power, and as you have probably noticed, I am taking the next tech for title, which will give me title power plant cores for Mark IV title plants. These will produce even more power. I should be making all of the items required for these, with the exception of brakes and maybe that titanium nitride. I don't think I've had to make the brakes. No, I have made the brakes. I have made the brakes for the mechanical part 4s. So, the only thing I think of is potentially that titanium nitride. I don't remember making titanium nitride. I made a titanium oxide. I remember making a titanium oxide. I do not remember actually making this stuff called titanium nitride. It is. Oh, it was used for quantum wells, so I am making it, and it's used in dielectric mirrors. So I do have this somewhere in my mall. I have it. It's here. So it's a matter of just set the recipe. Yeah, big boy. It's a matter of set the recipe, and some may eventually be made. But it is going to be even slower to make them than even the Mark III plants, and the Mark IV plants are, what, 70 megawatts? Mark IIIs are 55, the Mark IVs are what? The Mark IVs are 75 megawatts each. So you go from 30 to 55 to 75. Woohoo. Woohoo. These are okay. They're average, middling. Like, if you got them, then place them. Especially if you're running if you're running water fill and you can just put water down so you can place them more easily. I've been trying to think about how you can make some of this stuff more usable, more bearable to use, like the hot spots and solar panels, and I believe that it ultimately just comes down to it being literally impossible to make enough of them to adequately supply power to your base. Ultimately, what I'm saying is that they're too expensive. For what they provide, they are too expensive to build. You are better off spending the resources on other things than spending them on solar panels, HOTS, and VOTS. The resources are better used building different infrastructure for making power. And fundamentally, this comes down to the way in which the recipes have been created in the first place, how they've programmed the recipes into the game, where a lot of stuff just automatically pulls in like a set of Mark III ingredients or a set of Mark II ingredients without any thought given whatsoever to, hey, maybe it shouldn't actually be this way. Yeah, there's been a lot of searching, but I just need to remember where I've built things. It's like if I remember it, then I don't need any mods. I do have general ideas of where things are, so just let me be. Yes, let me be. I'm gonna search what I'm gonna search. Do it myself. I don't need a mod for that. Anyway, we're back here. We now have 18 beacons and 19 beacon twos. I'm here for what now? I was here for getting more Ultra Express belts, and I believe that I've probably gotten all of them that I can get, so now it's just waiting for additional ones to craft as they pull in small parts. So now I have to go back to the future, back to my build. Where's my build? Where is the build? Here. Go back from whence you came. Why are you not moving? That? Oh, that would help. Yeah, you know, it would help if the water flowed. Yeah, the water flowing would help a bit. Okay. I mentioned that I have a solid fuel. That solid fuel is called fiber. Raw fiber. So I can use that solid fuel to void my excess amounts of guar and zinc nanocomplex. It's going to be a bit painful. Just a little bit. And as we've seen with this already, because this is a slower recipe, the gains are not that large by doing the speed exploiting on this specific recipe. I think this is a 10-second recipe. So I'm actually not as inclined on 10-second recipes to continue spending my limited beacon resources on that. Somewhat limited beacon resources on 10-second recipes. So now what would be ideal would be something like this. This little half-second recipe, converting plates to sticks. Yeah, even with just the one beacon here, at a plus 4,000% speed, we've got what should be a 1 to 2 becoming something that's a little bit more than 1 to 2. And then this guy is a 5-second recipe from 2 to 10 or 1 to 5. From 1 to 5, it's still a 1 to 5 because we're not beyond the speed cap, but yeah, we could get more out. Yeah, the extra benefit you gain is minimal off of 10-second recipes like this, so I'm not going to bother anymore with the 10-second recipes unless I already have infrastructure in place to speed up other things that do gain benefit. Like, yeah, this would gain a lot of benefit on the ash. But again, it's like the amount of kick-all core spending here is non-existent anyway, so do I really need to gain like maximum ash out of this per unit of raw fiber? Not really, no. And raw fiber is... Oh, raw fiber itself doesn't have a fuel value, does it? Yes, it does. It's 6 megajoules. It said biomass there, and I'm like, what? Biomass? Biomass is the fuel category, and it is a 6 megajoule fuel value, so pretty good. Pretty good. I'm going to compress it. And this will be the fuel that I use on my voiding lines. Problem is, my voiding lines, I'll need to do some math, because, yeah. This is going to be... Don't I have this as purple? Did I never copy a purple voiding line and stick it in here? I guess not. Okay, then. All right. Hello again. So what was it on each of these? Was it like I forget exactly. What is the speed of each of these per second? Is it 3 1/3? Is it 3 1/3 or 6 6? I forget which it is on each one. I think it's 6 because I think this set does 15 minimum. Or was it 12? I don't know. We'll either have enough or we won't have enough. And that will be that. So 156-ish divided by 5, 31.2. Yeah, I think this is going to be enough for that. And then, you know, I could combine them by this point, so that should be okay, actually. That should be okay for the excess voiding. You can do it, inserters. You can do it. You can get him. Get him. Go get him. Go get him. All right. Left. And then up here, this guy down over there. Now this will always move at all times, and it will be glorious. What is this supposed to be, and why is it not here? Okay, I somehow did not manage to copy this. Okay. Even more belts to add to the system. At least these are just undergrounds and not as much on the straight segments. That's the last one. Alright, now let's finish this. Then we have to go to the mall, we have to add the request at the train station, and that will be one more bashed bottleneck. One less thing to worry about for a little bit of time. Not a huge amount of time, just a little bit, because yeah, this is a rather large build, all things considered. It is not the best build. Just to point that out, this is not the best build for this. The best build will unfortunately also require pesticide 2s, aka DDT. I don't know if you've ever heard of this substance called DDT, but yeah, it's basically pesticide 2s. Ahem. Basically pesticide 2s. It is created out of precursors for DDT. I am out of modules for my guar plantations, so I will need to grab more of those. Yay, another side trip. But this will be the last line to set up for the belts. So huzzah, we'll be done with the belt line expense from this build. Now, you know, it would help nanobots if you were to actually not hiccup like that. Okay, let's get out. Let's get out of here. Get oot. Get oot in a boot. Have I limited you? Yes, I have. Good. It doesn't look like a lot of throughput, but that's because everything here is stacked already. So it's not going to be quite as apparent. At least for a while. Until we get stuff in. More stuff in. Is this stacked? No. Alright, well, that whole thing needs to be upgraded then. All these splitters. Like, seriously? Seriously? Like, I'm making freaking tons of the stuff. Okay, where's my gooar? Gooar is over here. The goo. Oh, stop. I did not need to leave because I was actually close enough to just grab the gooar. We're done. We are finished. Let's go back to the mall. How many beacon 2s are waiting for me? None! Good. Okay, back to the mall so I can actually import zinc nanocomplex now. That should be that. And all I need to do... Oh good, you are voiding the excess. That is fantastic. Oh, that needs to be upgraded. There we go. That's nice. I don't even need the beans to be stacked like this. I don't even need them stacked. It's just that the infrastructure was stacking them. I could have gotten rid of that because I deleted the whole thing. How bad does having the mixed belts affect performance? I don't think it affects it in any way, any more than just having the unit of belts affects performance. Because the game is doing the calculations for the items on the belt when they're moving, regardless of whether or not the belts are mixed. It's still doing the calculations. It's not like there's a calculation that the game does not do if you have belts of the same segments attached to each other. It's just that when that happens, there are numbers that are the same. And it just changes the outcome of the formula. Like, it just changes the results of a formula. That will impact how the game moves the items along the belt, the speed at which they move along the belt, and it's going to always be doing that type of calculation, no matter what. So, ultimately, what affects performance is not having the belts upgraded, it's whether or not you have belts. Period. Just full stop. Belts will impact performance. The more belts you have, the more the performance is impacted. Specifically, the more belts you have with stuff that are moving on them, the more it impacts performance. If the belt does not have anything moving on them, then it is considered, for all intents and purposes, static. But if the items need to move, then it's doing more calculations. Yeah, things that run use more processing than things that aren't running. That does include belts and machines. That's why static machines don't use anywhere near as much performance as machines that need to run their recipes. That's why beacons are preferred, because they are static. They don't do anything themselves. And then you can reduce the number of entities that are moving by using them. Okay, let's bring in. By the way, this tech is like a 4500 tech, that's why it's taking forever. And then we're gonna unlock the Gene Lab upgrades. I have to look at these and see what I want of them. But then there's a bunch of other things, like there's a mix of cheap techs and also very expensive techs to think about getting from here on out. Basically, every single tech that I am working on right now is theoretically optional. They're all optional. So I'm just clearing out my tech tree now, because I have unlocked everything that needs to be unlocked to get to the next tech level. We just really need to just do it at some point. This recipe is 10 seconds, so dang, it does not get that big enough of a bonus at crafting 3 baseline. Maybe at crafting 4 baseline I'll have a look again, but not at this one. Alright, up here, we're actually running out of input solid stuff. I've got room to add more on this line and almost out on this line. But, yeah, so I'll need to think about, hey, I'll probably need to add more train input somewhere, figure something out. Because there's creatures that need to be brought in. Or made here. Alright, bring me Nano Complex! Huzzah! It's on its way. Yay! Yay, more Nano Complex! I'm pretty sure if I look at the thing that's making me Nano Complex right now, it's probably full, but oh well. Because I know I am making an amount of zinc nano complex at the moment. I thought it was near the nano compound. Yeah, it's here. Oh, it's actually empty. This is the limiting factor. This is what is a thing. This is a thing that is currently limiting me. But apparently not harmonic absorbers. Apparently those are okay now. Yeah, just apparently those are okay now. On volume, but the harmonic absorbers are limited by the amount of zinc nanoparticles we are making, which are in fact limited by zinc nanocomplex. These are just lead containers with zinc nanocomplex to make these nanoparticles, zinc nanoparticles. They get used for a few things. They get used for a few items as we go along here. So it'll be nice to see infinite of them get made as we get this moving. Oh goodness, hello, thousands, couple thousand units of zinc nano complex. Glorious, beautiful stuffs, and the bots are going to steal all of them almost immediately. Not quite, but they're going to take a lot of them away from me. Okay, what is limiting on my bacon? That's what we're going to look at now, and what my focus is going to be on for a bit of time is figuring out, oh hey, what is causing my beacons to not be made constantly. And then enhancing that production. That's going to be the game that we play for a little bit. So if we go over, if I find this is my building that is making bacon. What is the limiting factor? The limiting factor is Tower Mark IV. Okay, Tower Mark IV. That is being made over here. Tower Mark IV. What is your limiting factor? Your limiting factor is Nexlit Antimony Alloy. The limiting factor of Nexlit Antimony Alloy is antimony. So my next thing that I must scale is unfortunately antimony oxide. That we've made it to this point finally. I must make antimony oxide, and I must get more of it now. I have delayed this as long as I possibly can, but I have fortunately at this point picked up antimony processing stage 4, so I can do the most advanced antimony processing recipe if I so desired. I need to look at the cycle time on antimony. I need to see what the crafting speed is, what the crafting time is for the. Oops. They're going to bring those back to me super fast here, so we'll just leave those in there for now. I have a request for a few of those, for 100 of those at any given time. Ooh, get rid of those. Get rid of those lamps. I don't need lamps. Okay. We're good. I was gonna pull out a doohickey, a basic oxygen furnace, and we're gonna look at this. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I will say that for antimony, it is exceedingly worthwhile. To get as much extra productivity as we possibly can, even though it's right on the edge of not providing benefit. Even a 10% extra benefit is still enough of an extra benefit to justify with antimony. I think it's high purified. That's the top one. Yeah. 1, 2, 2A, and then 4. There is no 3, just 4. So the main thing about the antimony is that it is productive for making the oxide, which means it can be cheesed. It would be a bit more effective at Mark IV with the extra base crafting speed from going from 3 to 4, because that extra 1, that percentage bonus of 32,000 ends up having a much higher crafting speed value if you are multiplying that 32,000 by 4 versus by 3. It's a bit of a difference in terms of the final value of crafting speed. So on our items that are here, in fact, we could have a look at anything like this guy, or no, not that guy. This guy right here, this guy. So with 32,767, the final crafting speed is 986.01. 32767 is a plus Yeah, so 3 times 327.67. Excuse me, 3 times 327.68. No, it's add. What am I thinking? Then you add the base speed to it again. So yeah, in order to calculate this with 4, it's 4 times 327.67 plus 4. That would be minus then 983.0 or 986.01. The difference is 328.67, going from 3 to 4, crafting speed 3 to 4, in terms of like the raw crafting speed output. So it's a good difference. It is going to make a big difference on crafting speed, like 10-second craft time recipes. That will make those 10-second craft time recipes very worth doing. They're right on the edge right now, but with Mark IV infrastructure, they will definitely be a benefit. So planning around that with the antimony oxide will be ideal. The only thing is, you sort of have to make that high purified stuff, right? Or, in the alternative, if I'm willing to spend the extra plastic and oxygen, we could just brute force. We could brute force at like 300 or 300 of the stuff. So the brute force method would involve having to make grade 4 antimony in extremely high volume. Which I'm not above doing. We will need to consider doing this. Really, the only thing of doing the more advanced recipe is that it will consume outside inputs, and it will reduce the amount of ore that you need. With antimony, you must spend a fuel to mine it. And none of the mining drills have module slots. However, they can be beaconed despite not... no, they can't be beaconed. Great. Fantastic. There's no effects that you can beacon on them as displayed. You can't beacon the effects. If they had module slots, they could take modules, but they can't. They don't have modules. But they can take this stuff. Rocket fuel. They can sort of take rocket fuel. The only thing is it's a few drills. The issue then is drills. Number of drills. Because you can't beacon them. It's so dumb. Like, I don't think that it's intended that these don't have module slots. But then again, the fluid mining drills don't have module slots either, and honestly, that's also an oversight, frankly. I think that both of these buildings need to have module slots on them. I don't know why they don't. I really don't know why they don't. Now, we are getting mining productivity on these buildings, so there is at least that. It's just so dumb that they don't have module slots on these. Like, why? Like, makes no sense. Compared, we must do comparison to if we were to go all out with the antimony, the full chain, compared with the full chain for the oxide, going the route of the high purified stuff. If we were to do that, well, ultimately we would need you can ignore the amount of the rocket fuel in this last step because of beacon shenanigans. But yeah, it would still need a significant amount of oxygen. That's a lot of oxygen to try to brute force. And it's a pretty good amount of plastic to try to brute force as well. But these numbers will go down when I can speed up the buildings and make full use of the productivity stuff. Now, by comparison, if I were to go the full high purified route, it's a pretty good amount of filtration media there, but that's reasonable numbers. Excuse me, what now? There is a numal upgrade. One unit of final concentrate? Okay. Okay, that's like the most worthless thing ever. Jigs are Mark III now. I can default that, thanks. So we have shale oil in here. That's lovely. 58.3%, we've seen that before. So now I need to do this and get that upgraded. We need to get this upgraded with one of those. And those. And you with those. And you with those. These numbers are reasonable, by the way. The thing is, we're spending these outside inputs now. When we look at yellow dextrin, what is the speed on yellow dextrin? 10 seconds, so it's not as worth it to try to speed bonus this. We have a starch input here, a pretty big starch input here. Yeah, that's that could be a problem. Starch is absolutely not cheesable because it is not productive. It is productive? Oh, well, that changes things. Hello. That one's productive. Is this one productive? Oh, yeah, this one's productive. Okay. So the recipe that's in the pulp mill is not productive because pulp mills are not productive. Nothing in pulp mills is productive, which is very sad, but this is cheesable. We can absolutely cheese this. We can cheese the starch significantly. So this stuff is free. Starch, this recipe, what was it? 3 seconds? What's the speed? It is 3 seconds. Oh boy. So we're getting a lot out for our in. Okay. I can live with that. It's a pretty significant amount of exit plate, though. That's the slight problem. The cyanoate, or the cyanate, sodium cyanate, this recipe is 10 seconds, so it's not that reasonable. I can give this its cyanic. I can cheese the cyanic, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can cheese the cyanic quite considerably. Hell, I could even sort of cheese the meat recipe for the cyanic, but the big recipe here is this guy, that guy. We've sort of seen the coal. We've sort of cheesed the coal a lot, but we can cheese the ammonia too. I think barely, but we can do that with the ammonia. It's the 10 seconds. That's the problem here. Ooh, that's significantly cheesable. if it was productive, but and it's not. Pretty sure it's not. Yeah, it's not. So that goes out the window. This. By the way, urea is cheesable, as is the liquid stuff. So, ooh, oh the cheese there. But that's still a lot of urea. So no, we're doing that one, this one, super cheesable. The carbonate's being cheesed at the moment, actually, just vicariously, just because it's nearby something else. Yeah. This is gonna get crazy and nuts, and yeah, probably gonna be done in the mall, frankly, because I am. Because I don't really need it, or I don't. Yeah, I don't really need it elsewhere. Grease table I have at Mark 2. Okay, those are some numbers. Hello, Ollie. Welcome back. Dust from that. Crushed from that. Grade 4. Where's the grade 4 going? Oh, it's there. It's a loop. Grade 4 from grade 3. And that. Grade 2. From that. From grade 1. And that. So, in the end, we have inputs looking a little bit like that. Ooh, even fish oil. I'm going to need to scale fish to get that amount of fish oil. That's an unfortunate thing that does need to happen if I want to do this process. So we could either spend all this stuff, 171.4 antimony. We can either spend all of this in here, or I can try to mine 1860 antimony ore and make a bunch of plastic and like force in a bunch of oxygen to get a whole bunch of oxide. Now, yeah, we're comparing 300 to 300. Do I really need 300? I need a lot, but I don't need 300. More like 100. I could cut it to 100 for each of these, and then numbers are, a little bit more reasonable across the board. Could I swing 620 antimony ore? I don't know, maybe it's 173 drills. It's like, do I really have the patience to put down 103 drills? 173 drills, excuse me? Might have to. We're not lacking for places to put these mines. To put the drills, that is. Not lacking for drill space. It's just they made them not beaconable, which is like, why? It's just like, why you do this? This is not good. So option A is brute forcing. Option B is more complex. So option A or option B. That's the thing we have to think about. A or B. At the moment, I'm probably thinking more along the lines of B. I will need to mine more ore. I am bringing the ore to my mall already because the ore is used to make arsenic. And yeah, I have the ore already importing to my mall. And if I'm going to do this at my mall, I'd rather have all of these things being done here with beacons and all that good stuff. So, yeah. Yeah. Whoops, I needed to hold control there. I'm going to put maximum speed on the main set of the process here. And for the remainder of our stream, which is about 7 minutes left, I am going to work on building this out in the mall, and then worry about the other like inputs and things, because I have all of these inputs here in the mall area, so may as well use them. The only exception is the shale oil. I will need to get shale oil here separately. Don't expect that this is going to be functional within 7 minutes. I will finish it off screen between streams if I feel like it. It's a thing that I have to do soon, like now, just because it is the immediate next bottleneck. But really the focus over the weekend is going to have to be more along the lines of, hey, I need more Vrauk, which I absolutely need more Vrauk. Hey, I sort of have to put actual adult Corlex onto the train network. I need to get adult Dilmo. I need to get adult Xenos available. I need to get the adult Zungroar available. Those are the kinds of things that are going to be done between streams. So maybe rather than this, what I'll do is I will place down, because it's going to be a bit faster to do this and actually have some progress. I'm going to put down, I'm going to copy eyedropper tool from here, research centers. Not sure where I need to put these though. Where did I do Rika? Where have I done Rika? Where have I done Rika? Hello? There. I did Rika here. So, down over yonder, I made the fetal serum for it local as well. We may also have a problem with our cDNA. I have to check the cDNA. If I haven't made any of those antelope yet. We have made some antelope! There are 17 of them! Isn't it glorious? We have 17 Schrodinger antelope. Alright, don't the antelope, like, eat Nextlit dust on their, like, super advanced recipes? I think they eat Nextlit dust on their super advanced recipes. And have I made their cages, their pens? I don't think I've made the antelope pens. So I have to also do that. We'll go ahead and I will actually just set the antelope pen here while I'm thinking about it. Where is it? That's a great question. There it is. Hello? It is a whole bunch of stuff that I am making. Even mechanical part 4s. Isn't that nice that I have made mechanical part 4s? That I have existent values of mechanical part 4s. Just gotta get some circuit 3s and it will move. Hey, there's some circuit 3s. Then it's just wait for bots to do their thing. Okay, what I want to do here is get the anabolic RNA. Did I do the denatured version? Yes, I did do the denatured version, so I will do the non-conductive phasogen version. For you, I will do the Negasium Paragen version. For you, you need Canalgus and DMS. For you, Roxygenics, you get non-conductive phasogens and fish oil. So that's 4. Isn't there a 5th? We have antivirals. We have immunosuppressants. BMPs are already set. Anabolic RNA is set. Huh? Where's the anti-tumor? Which building are you in? Of course you're in molecular assemblers. With nanochondria, okay. Oh, you need arthropod blood. Do you always need arthropod blood? Yes, you do. All right. Good to know. You eat an arcod jelly as well. Cool, great, fantastic stuffs. Just effing wonderful stuffs here. So we have that taken care of. That's about all that's taken care of. So I'll work on these logistics as well as we go along. We need stuffs. I need to get this brought in, apparently. And we need more Atom 42s and more of that stuff over there. Pretty sure we've got it in the past. It's just, limiting factors. Some things are, in fact, limited, including this titanium cobalt chromium alloy. Interesting that we don't have any of that. I'll probably need to just make it. Might be one of those things that's being made somewhere in the base and not here. Oh, Vonix eggs being provided. Interesting. Oh, you eat superconducting servo mechanisms. Good thing I've got a few of them. Enidines. Okay, might need to make enidines. And get more local resilin. Enidines. Only used in anti-tumors. Okay, that explains things. Biofactory. I will build this. Mark 3, Biofactory. Enidine. There you are. You eat Zogna. Okay. Zogna is cheesable, by the way. We could cheese Zogna. Oh, and more cDNA, and you are productive. Good. These are not. This is not. This is not. This is not. Alright then. I think besides the titanium cobalt, nano carrier. Might not have that. No, I do have that for the other stuff, so that's fine. Yeah, I think I'm good now. So between streams, I'm going to work on the scaling of antimony. Try to get these things online so that when we next meet, I can work on getting our upgraded creatures. Next week, I do want to, or next streams, over the course of the streams next week, I do want to get into Pi Science 4, and basically immediately get into utility science, just to unlock Pi 4, unlock utility science, because, once you have the Pi Science 4, it's 2 technologies. 2, really. I will need to pick up these Fusion 2 and portable fusion reactors. We'll need to make the portable fusion thingies for utility science. Because that's really it. That's really it. There's some stuff at the photosensitive die that is like here. This is the like only new thing that you need to make going into utility science, because you will have already been able to make personal fusion cells by that point. I could do that now, and you will have perfect samples. So the only thing new is the photosensitive die. And then you're at utility science. And you can unlock all of the stuff that's available at utility science, aka all of the Mark IV things. And robots. and you get more mining productivity, and you get the ability to get into space science like almost immediately. There's just there's a couple techs. There's a few techs, yes, but still. Utility science. I would like to get there, and the most time-consuming part to get there will be perfect samples. So that's our last like extremely time-consuming thing going forward here. But we have reached the end of the stream for today. I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Shibut. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushibut if you are so inclined and able. I will be back on Tuesday to work dedicated towards getting into perfect samples. I hope to see you all then.